Hey everybody, Jared here with the Carolina Weather Group. I got Dan Whitaker with me, our storm chaser guru guy. And Dan, we have, we're here at Weatherproof at the Schiele Museum in Gastonia. A really great day with a lot of great exhibitors.
Yeah, it's been a really fun time. We have seen a lot of different exhibitors here talking about all sorts of different aspects of weather, including things we don't normally think of, like air quality.
Air quality, you have the National Weather Service here, you have the Climate Office showing us some, interesting and somewhat disturbing heat trends. Honestly, WCNC has been here with the Brad Panovich and Larry Sprinkle. We're here for a bit, a lot of fun. Just a really great day. And so we've got some interviews with these exhibitors, and we hope you enjoy.
We're here with Charlotte Area NC Air Awareness. And could you tell us a little bit about kind of your setup here today?
Yes. Hi, my name is Ivonne Hernandez, and like you mentioned, I am with the Charlotte Area Air Awareness, and what I'm here to do is teach about air quality and what we can do to protect our health, and what can we do to improve air quality in our region. Great.
So I see you have a couple things here. You have some a sign here about ozone. And a couple of other things. Can you tell us, I guess, first about this this graph you have here, this chart?
Yeah, so this chart, what we're doing here is trying to make that connection of emission sources that are in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, and make that correlation, because people normally think that the primary polluter is factories, point sources, so these, right? But actually they only account for 3% of the county's NOx ozone-forming NOx emissions. And then the number one is actually cars. So normally people would flip those. The reality is we're the number one polluters. It's us, it's cars, we have to own it. And then the second one is non-road mobile sources. If you're driving around in Mecklenburg County, you'll notice that there is so much construction going on. There is construction on the roads, on the highways, and the skyscrapers. And finally, the last thing will be area sources. So those are things like the emergency generators, like at hospitals or cell phone towers. So I just want to make that connection for people that we're the number one polluters. It's us, it's cars, and we have to own it. And then what can we do about it?
Okay, great explanation there. Thanks for sharing that. What other, besides ozone, what other kind of air pollutants are we looking at are important to kind of know about?
Yeah, so the Environmental Protection Agency has 6 common air pollutants, but in Mecklenburg County and in the region, we really focus on 2, the ones that are driving that are the highest, the ones that we see, which is particulate matter and ozone. So, just to give you a little bit more background information, ozone is not emitted. It's actually formed, and it is a photochemical reaction that happens when VOCs and NOx are cooked under the sun. So ozone season is from March 1st to October 31st. And during that time, we see that, the sun is out for the longest, and we really need that sun in order to, for it to cook and create ozone. And then particulate matter, we'll normally see that during fireworks or burns. The last code red that we had in Mecklenburg County was in 2016, when there was a giant fire in the mountains and the wind shifted just right and it made it to the county. So those would be the 2 main ones that I will discuss and teach about, because the other ones, even though they're there, you think about lead as a success story where we don't really have to worry about lead too much because it's been phased out.
We're talking about weather at a lot of the booths, and everyone here is kind of interested in weather. What kind of connections to weather do you see these pollutants?
So that is such a great question, because that is exactly why I'm here, is because air quality has a direct connection to the weather. So weather heavily impacts what's going to happen. If just last week we had a situation where mercaptan was released in the city and there was a temperature inversion. So it was just trapped and we could all smell it, right? And again, so weather it impacted, because if there would have been another day, it probably would have, people would have smelled it, but it wouldn't just been trapped. And so there is a direct correlation in those in the forecast for weather or what weather is doing, and then air quality and the impact that it has because weather will be moving and dispersing air.
You mentioned a connection of how ozone is formed having to do with the sun. Does that have weather has a big impact on that, I guess, too, because of clouds forming and whatnot?
Exactly. Yes. So if it's going to be raining, normally we can expect the air quality to be pretty good. Or if it's cloudy and overcast, even if it is 100 degrees outside, it's not going to impact it so much.
Well, I'm glad you're here educating us about things that are very important, but things we also can't see. And that's why it takes people like you in science to uncover that.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity to talk about it, because that is the hardest thing about my job is how do I teach about something that you can't see? And how do I make you care about something that you can't see that we just take for granted? We wake up early in the morning, we get going, and we're already breathing. So we're not even thinking about the fact that we're breathing air, and that how important it can be to our health. So I think I mentioned this earlier, but you can live without water, you can live without food, you can live without air. So again, you can live without water and food for a few days, but air is just minutes.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us, and I'm sure everyone who's watched this will learn a lot. So
thanks, Dan. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey everybody, Jared here from the Carolina Weather Group. Today I've got Emma Scott with me from the North Carolina State University Climate Extension up in Asheville. Came all the way down to Gastonia, Charlotte area to be here at the Schiele Museum this afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you do in your nook of Asheville.
Yeah. So we do climate-specific research, and we partner with a lot of federal scientists at the National Centers for Environmental Information, and we work together to analyze the climate data that goes into the NCEI data centers.
Awesome. Very cool. Tell us a little bit about what you're kind of showing everybody, showing the kids today, and the kids and the adults for that matter. There's a lot of everyone's enjoying it today.
Yeah. A lot of people from all walks of life here. So we've got some takeaways from the National Climate Assessment, as well as the North Carolina Specific Climate Science Report that has been published fairly recently. And this has some information on expected changes in climate that we can expect to see in our state, and a little bit toward how we can find solutions to these issues.
Yeah, I'm sure you're covering a broad scope between flooding on the coast and then just general warming and other issues, and perhaps, severe weather and things of that nature.
Exactly. All kinds of things, from extreme heat to changes in extreme precipitation, overall global temperature change. It's all kind of in there. Yeah.
What would you say is probably the biggest takeaway that you all have seen recently, just in your data? What's the thing that stands out the most?
So one of the things that I know is really important to people at the moment is heat and drought. We have some scientists looking at intersections between those two, and the increase in nighttime temperatures is one of the things that we have laid out in some of the information here, and that's definitely really concerning for the future in terms of heat-related illness.
Yeah, everybody thinks about record highs, but nobody thinks about the record low maximums.
Yeah,
or the other way
exactly.
around, the record maximum low. I mean, hey, I always get that confused. But I mean, that is certainly the bit of heat stress that just does not get as much attention. And probably should.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not cooling off overnight, you don't get that chance to recuperate, and that can be really impactful for people, especially who can't afford to have an air conditioner. Right. That can really hurt them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Emma. Very nice to meet you, and hope you enjoy the rest of your time.
All right, thank you.
1. It got close. Let's come on.
Hey everybody, Jared here from the Carolina Weather Group at the Schiele Museum for Weatherproof, closing out the event today, and we have got Candace Jordan here with us. She is kind of the maestro of the whole shebang.
I'm like the weather maestro.
The weather
I like
maestro,
that.
the weather maestro, the person with the flame tornado. How did you think it went this year?
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was a great weather day. First off, you know, it didn't have to pull the meteorologist out of the event. That's
Right.
always nice.
Yeah.
But overall, it seemed like we had a really good turnout, and it was just a wonderful day. I think people were really curious and asked lots of really great questions.
Yeah, you had a really good crowd around the flame, the
Yes.
fire whirl, to be clear.
Yes.
And you know, the tornado tube, and there's a lot of just really great exhibits here, a lot of really great exhibitors here as well today. You know, coming back, you know, from COVID,
Yes.
you know, this is the first one since COVID, as I recall.
Yeah, so this is the first like real big one. We had
Yeah.
one last year, but we definitely kept it like super low key.
Yeah.
It was just a few staff members. So this is the first like big one we've pulled
Yeah.
out since COVID.
Yeah, no, and it certainly seemed to be, you know, very well attended. We had some,
Yeah.
just some amazing people. We had one of the kids school Dan on the EF rating of the Pilger tornado. We had,
Yes.
you know, we had some amazing green screen work going on here. You know, National Weather Service was here,
Right.
14th Air Squadron. You know, what do you hope people take away from this?
So one thing that I love to bring to people is, you know, there's more than just, you know, your standard meteorologist. A lot of people think like, oh, TV meteorologists. And yes, they are absolutely wonderful and there's a place for them. But there's also like 90% of the meteorology community that's like not on TV. And I want people to be able to see those, you know, like the National Weather Service, having the Air Force represented, you
Yeah.
know, your climate people, your area, like your air awareness people.
Your air quality, yeah.
Lots of different types of people. And I really wanted to show like the multifaceted thing of weather is that we had a booth on leaves and weather and insects and weather, satellites. So it's just like weather really does impact every single discipline that there is out there.
Absolutely. I want to say that there was weather on other planets even running
Yes.
at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, so even other planets have weather, and then we have a planetarium show about that.
Yep.
And so we can go through each planet and say, you know, oh, like, you know, we have these monstrosity, like, dust storms on Mars and envelop the entire planet. We don't
Yep.
have that on Earth. Or like the Great Red Spot on Jupiter.
Not yet.
TBD.
But, yeah, TBD. Well, hopefully we don't find out. But no, I mean, this is you know, this is phenomenal. Certainly seemed like everybody got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
And, no, it was really fantastic. Any closing thoughts
Overall,
on the event?
I'm really proud of how it went, and we're definitely doing it again next year.
Beautiful.
So mark your calendars, July something or another, probably
July
next
something
year.
or another. All right.
23.
Mark it down. July something or another
Yeah.
here at the Schiele Museum in Gastonia, North Carolina. Jared Smith, Carolina Weather Group. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Candace and all of her wonderful crew for making today a wonderful event for everybody. Take care.
Yeah, so this is our storm tracker around here. It's the Chevy storm tracker. You can see it behind me here. Now, there's a lot of cool stuff on it.
I see that you've got a lot of different, you got some really cool exhibits here.